it's a running gag. I wonder if this is a running gag. We have to keep an eye on this. It might be a running gag for the rest of the series. It might be. I don't know.
Yeah, she basically says, "Will you go to the dance with me?"
It's pink, by the way, the pink border.
I think that's another running gag.
Flowery border. It was so freaking
I think it's
funny.
another running gag.
It might be. We'll have to keep an eye on this for the rest of the run.
Yeah.
They're very funny.
But, yeah, and then we go back to reality and find out that he's asked out this nerdy girl who looks like Pippi Longstocking mated with the Wendy's mascot.
I was going to say Pippi Longstocking in the chick, and who was it in that Screech dated in Saved by the Bell?
I don't know. I haven't seen Saved by the Bell in a long time.
Well, it ended up. Why did it Saved by the Bell? It's not bringing it up, but someone's laughing about that joke right now.
Yeah.
And the best part about this one...
Can't you go jump back on the Wendy's sign where she belongs?
An average guy said yes to me. Like, wow, the burns!
Hey, I said yes, and you turned me down. Shut up.
Ingrid, by the way, is her name. We find that out after the break. I'm saying
we'll
breaks like
out.
we have commercials. Like
we'll find out after the break.
I feel like we have commercial breaks, but we do have the fade-outs for commercials on the DVDs. Ingrid. Cory. This scene cracked me up. He's monologuing in the kitchen, talking about how he can make an excuse to tell Ingrid on.
And his excuse when he realized that he asked Ingrid out is basically roughly that of me finding out that Michael Bay still has work.
Well, I love the fact that his excuse was, there's two of me, and the other one's evil. You have an evil twin, and the other one's going to get arrested. But he goes to the police, and they keep arresting him. And I'm just like, what?
Oddly enough, if this were the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, that would actually be a plausible argument.
I know, but that cracked me up. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But I love the fact that Alan's behind him.
Well, when he doesn't like the episode of his own show, he just makes up a plot of his own episode.
Sure, why not? Alan's behind him, and he calls him out on it immediately, like a good dad should do.
Yeah, Dad? Oh no, I'm not him. I just look like him.
It cracks me up. I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Alan Matthews, one of the last competent TV dads.
Yeah, there's only a couple of competent ones. That was a brilliant line. I was like, fantastic. But then he does make a point. Go with the girl that you said yes to. Simple as that.
And we'll see how that goes later on.
Yeah, pretty much. So we cut back. We're back. Alan leaves, and we introduce to. I do have written down because he goes to Eric for advice, like you do. And he says he's old. He's out of touch. The last girl he dated was Mom. That's a great line, though. Very funny. Very, very funny. Which, by the way, did he hear that? Because later on, a lot of old jokes later on in the show. Did he hear that line? Because I was wondering about that later.
Actually, I was waiting for Alan to just pop back in and go,
Very, very funny, though. So, this is where we get the first instance of the International Women's Network. Which,
also known as Lifetime.
Well, I cracked up at this because the way they're describing it, it's like they told the future of online how it is now. Social media as it is today. Because I actually wrote it all down here. It says, you dump one girl, all of them will know. And then he actually says on the International Women's Network, so Eric, everyone online is going to find out in the morning. It's exactly like social media now. Yeah. They predicted the future.
Fembook.
I give them credit. They actually predicted the future in 1994 on Boy Meets World. Go figure. And while the social media world, I do love the social media world. This is it. We are in the social media world. This show, I love it.
That's our lifeblood.
Promotion is amazing for it. We found out about stuff going on in the world quicker than anything ever. Then there's the stuff like this. Yeah. Where it's all negative and stupid, and that's why I don't go on Facebook as much as I used to.
But on the plus side, we can find out about Kim Kardashian whenever we want. Wait, what am I saying?
Here's the reason why Here's the reason.
No, we get to find out about... We get to find out about Kanye West's ass.
Well, now I won't go into that. The whole rant there. Listen to Hollywood Babylon. They talk about it over there. Anyway, actually, they put a moratorium. They're not talking about Kardashian anymore on Hollywood Babylon. They said no, they're not going to do it anymore. Because they're sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of talking about her all the time. All right, back to this show. So the test of this was amazing. The testing of the International Women's Network was was a great moment when I forgot her name. Morgan was in the room, and Eric. This is so intelligent. I didn't expect this from Eric. He goes and compliments Amy's dinner.
Yeah.
And then Morgan leaves the room. And 5 seconds later, here comes Amy. Like, I didn't know you liked this. And I'm like, that was the greatest example of what you just talked about I've ever seen. That was amazing. Talk about a setup payoff. That was fantastic. And then bad news travels even faster.
Yeah.
Which is true. Again, predicting the future. Seriously. This is amazing. Okay. So they be kept back to the classroom. And what were they talking about? I wrote it down, but you got all excited.
Pygmalion, mainly because this is another example of them covering something that's relevant to the plot of this episode.
No, seriously, you got all excited when you started on the talkboard. I was like, well done, well played.
Yeah.
Pretty much for those who don't know, the whole thing was how you look at how you talk shows people how to look at them, which is a big deal.
And you've seen My Fair Lady, right?
Yes, I did. Of course I did.
Based off of Pygmalion.
Well, there you go. So, well, it's a great. I love the fact that it ties into the episode. It's a very good lesson, might I add. It's a very smart lesson. It's not forced either, because it actually makes sense for his class. Yeah. A lot of time in the Gourmet World, when Cory's bringing up something to try to tie it into the show, it's so forced. It's become a running gag on the Gourmet World show to listen to.
Well, like I said, maybe it's just intentional on their part.
Well, it is intentional, obviously, but at least it ties in with class.
Yeah.
At least it ties in.
Yeah, I mean, the forcing is intentional. Maybe that's just the gag.
So, maybe. By the end of season 2, it did become a complete running gag. The end of season 2. He actually makes fun of it at the end of season 2, so maybe it has been a running gag for 2 years. Or it wasn't at the beginning, it turned into one by the end of season 2. But anyway.
Farkle time? Hey, whatever. You got a Farkle, you got a Farkle.
Okay, I'm diverting back to Gourmet World. Spoiler, for those who haven't seen the Gourmet World finale, even though there's been like 8 weeks between episodes this season, which has been weird. But anyway, in the last Gourmet World episode of the season, we find out that Cory's going to high school with them as their teacher. And they actually gave a reason. It wasn't like Phoebe, who just kind of materialized everywhere else.
Yeah.
He became the principal, obviously, in this world, but he actually got a reason. The parents of all the kids wrote a petition to have Cory follow them. I'm like, okay, at least they wrote it into the story. At least there's a reason.
Implausible, yes, but
at least it works for the storyline of the show. Like, I give them credit for that little detail they did.
He's got to be doing Feeney proud to actually have that happen.
Well, that also, though, doesn't really help that the superintendent is Turner.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. It does kind of help matters. Yeah. But Turner, to his credit, does do things official. He made that very clear early in the season. So he does do things like on the book, even though he's the cool superintendent. He does have to do things on the book for legal reasons. Yeah. He did explain that earlier in the season. Anyway, back to this show. Okay, so Shawn has an idea. Shawn always has.
This never ends well.
And Cory calls that out. I thought that was fantastic.
Shawn, the last time you had an idea, we were trying to give mouth to mouth to a car battery.
Wow. So, all right, where am I? So Shawn's idea was that they should make Ingrid cool, which on paper sounds like a terrible idea. Yeah. But it is this show, so we'll go with the flow. Why not?
But I was going to say, on paper it sounds like a terrible idea, but it gave us Pygmalion.
It did, yes. But Shawn actually says, I'm going to talk Becky into helping us. Which... What? Wait, what? Did you know her for what, a day? Yeah. You're going to convince her to help you with this
This
plan.
is Shawn we're talking about.
And she does! Which is the best part. She does help.
But once again, like I said, this is Shawn we're talking about.
But I do appreciate Cory calling out the fact that you really want to use your one favor on this. You want to do that? I'm like, whatever. It works out. You don't have me ever see Becky ever again. We'll see Becky ever again after this.
She goes and joins Minkus.
But at least I've seen Minkus again.
Actually, wait a minute. For all we know, that she's Farkle's mother.
No, she's not. We've got her mom on the show. Oh. It ain't her. Anyway, Kat. Oh yeah, Kat's continuing to make Turner sweat, which at least Turner banging his head on the wall on one of the posters. Yeah. And Feeney, great line reading. Yeah. You can have this one.
So, use a hammer, Mr. Turner.
Cracked me up. Yeah. That was a great line reading. It was very, very funny.
Although, to be quite honest, it'd be a great talent to be able to drive in nails with your fist.
Back to humans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Anyway. Yeah. Sorry, I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last night. Back to the house. this again, predicting the fucking future. Amy is monologuing on how bad magazines are. and
it goes into hypocrisy when she...
Yes!
Yeah.
Where did you find these magazines?
On your nightstand.
You didn't go in the top drawer, did you? What's in the drawer? I really want to know what's in the drawer now. I really want to know. Especially knowing how hot and heavy the two of them, Amy and Ellen,
more copies of Playgirl than there are copies of Playgirl.
Oh, gee, that's disturbing, but made me laugh. I was like, that's an adult humor right there that made me chuckle.
Now, let's see here. We got Nutmeg. Let's see here. We got Nutmeg. Oh, God, I don't want to know what this is.
Well, my whole point was, I said earlier, the adult humor was great. That joke went over my head when we were younger, and then now it made me laugh. It's a very good adult joke. That did go over my head. So we found out Ingrid's last name is Iverson, which is random. Did we find anything about her? I don't think we brought her. Did we bring her up earlier? I forgot. She's gorgeous. What does that get you? That's what Shawn said that she comes in. She does look fantastic. I have to say that was a nice turnaround. I didn't expect that.
She's not only a 10, she's a 22. She's also below the legal age.
Yeah, she's also 15 on the show.
So like I said,
when we were younger, watching the show, it was fantastic. I gotta put that in perspective. When we watched the show, we were on the same ages of the characters, so it makes sense at the time. Adult eyes does make it weird. Anyway, so we find out she's Swedish, which is okay, fine. We'll go with this flow. But what the fuck was with Shawn? Yeah. From Switzerland? What the fuck?
Once again, this is Shawn we're talking about. Talking about. At least early on, it was all great outside, nothing going on underneath the hood.
At least he got smarter as the series went on. At least that happened.
Oh, so now we see where Eric's intelligence
went. It's the other way.
Like I said, now we see where Eric's intelligence went.
Because Shawn got so much smarter as the series continued.
Yeah. Shawn became a poet and photographer, while Eric wound up setting a dorm room on fire.
Well, he is the senator of New York. I don't know how the hell that happened, but he's the senator of New York.
And former mayor of St. Upentown.
I mean, he's the senator of New York. Yeah. Anyway,
we got elected in a land.
Whatever the hell we get done with this series, we're going to have to do Growing Drum, because that show is so random at times.
And I was elected in a landslide. Those who survived the landslide elected me mayor.
Anyway, back to the she's from Switzerland, which was just...
Okay, I have one of yours.
Oh, God. Swedish from Switzerland. We heard that she's actually from Sweden, which actually makes sense. I love Shawn logic. And this is a typical teenage boy logic, though I have to give credit where it's due. Very brilliant. On the beach, are the women naked? That's such great logic on Shawn's part.
On the beach are the women naked? Nearly.
And it's not a big deal to them in Sweden, but it's a big deal in America. Obviously, we knew this already going into the joke. But you know what? They're 7th graders, so you can go with it. You know what I mean? They're 7th graders. So, it's a really big deal, and he wants to go where no 7th grader has gone before.
8th grade?
High school immediately. We'll get to that in another season. They jump around time periods. Okay, I wanted to make a note, because a lot of people don't realize this. We're in season 2. They're in 7th grade. I just want to note this. Is seasons 5, is it 5, 6, and 7? Are we all in college?
I think, yeah.
So that means they jump from 7th grade to senior year by the end of season 4. Yeah. Just want to note that as we go along in this series.
Or is it 6, 7, and 8 that...
Well, they graduate, though. There's only 7 seasons. There's only 7 seasons.
Oh, that's right. 6 and...
It's 7, I think 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
I think. I'll have to look this up when we talk. But at least the last 2 seasons are in college. So at least they jump time again. They jump time again on the show.
So I don't know where I got 8 from.
There's only 7 seasons.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know where I got that from.
But anyway, I'll continue. I'll look this up. I'll continue. Bully over no 7th grade number. And, this is where we get Cory saying his ideas don't work. It's just a great call. I have to get right in the tune. It's a great call. But she wants to be popular. Which you cracked up at. Her pushing Cory. You cracked up.
Like, well, it's best to find out that she has a Tawny Contain side to her before the actual relationship.
Yes, so... Excuse me, sorry.